This is David in the car. Hello, David.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Great show as always. You guys make my morning
David.
awesome. Thank you. I don't understand Rafael Devers, and I understand these positions, this and that. The greatest space of the Red Sox, playing first base whenever needed. The first thing Rafael needs to understand is that DH is not a position because it doesn't exist on the Nationals. So if you have the opportunity and you're asked to play a position.
It does now in the National
It does now? Okay. I apologize. So, but my thing is this. If you have the opportunity to play first base, why wouldn't you? And Wiggy, I'm sorry. I respect what you say. You were a football player, and I remember watching you live at the, not Gillette, Foxborough Stadium. But the thing is, yes, you're getting paid $30 million. Suck it up. Be a team player. Play whatever position is needed to help the team, and don't be a crybaby. And stop saying nope, because it doesn't work anymore.
I mean, that seems to be so far this morning the general consensus on the Subaru of New England text line, which is they just asked you, could you step up and help the outfit, as Joe Biden would refer to it? Can you help the organization? Can you step up and be a company guy and do a little extra here? I mean, that seems to be the general consensus, and the answer is nope.
But the issue is, see, here's what people don't get. Like, and if you have never played a professional sport, it might be hard to understand it.
Right. We have not, all of us, everybody listening, everybody on this show, none of us have played a professional sport.
David has played soccer, so he's a former professional athlete. So there are some people out there.
Right.
So
let me limit the people that can disagree, and now I'll make my point.
It's not about disagreeing. The fact that you are a third baseman, right, and that's the position you came up in, and people were criticizing you about how bad you were and how you weren't good at it, and it took you some time. Maybe you did have some struggles, but that's the position. And then they want you to move to a position where maybe if I struggled at third base, I might be even worse at first base. And what's the criticism going to be towards me as a professional athlete?
And to move him right at when he starts, like, kind of hitting his stride. Like, at DH, he was not good in the beginning. We talked about it over and over again. People wanted him out of here, and he's kind of starting to figure it out. And now that he's figuring it out, they're going to move him again.
Right, because
egos are a major
happened.
thing. But egos are a major thing in sports, and we know that. He does not want to go to first base and be so awful where he's getting criticized and ripped to shreds. And that affects an athlete's ego. So he won't
be getting criticized today all over the city of Boston all day.
Yeah, and he got criticized so much that he played third base for 6 years.
But he played third base coming up his whole career when he was a young kid. I mean, everybody moves around in Little League, but once they found this position, that's the position. Like, you can't don't even bring up Big Papi. Big Papi was a first baseman. So the fact that he might go over there and be like, I'm going to struggle. I don't even want to deal with that. I'm comfortable at the DH. They didn't want me to play third base. This is where I'm at. Now they want me to play first. I'm not doing it.
Here's a text from New Hampshire. Hello and good morning to New Hampshire. And we have 2 road shows this road show season for you. One in Hampton Beach and the other in the middle of Lake Winnipesaukee at the Dive on July 3rd. And you can check the entire roadshow schedule on our social media, on Instagram and elsewhere. But the text says the fact that the concept of even having to ask him is an issue is a problem. That's how I feel. Like, the fact that Rafael Devers is pissed that Craig Breslow dared to ask him if he would mind helping everybody else on the team out is bogus.
And this is not something that the organization would have done if not for the season-ending injury to Casas. Like, it wasn't their plan to beg him to get off the third and accept the DH role and then tell him to move again. This happened. It was just something that occurred in the course of a Major League Baseball season, and his reaction reveals an awful lot about who he is as a guy on the roster.
Yeah, that it might reflect who he is character-wise, but before.
So why are you defending it?
No, because before I'm defending the his opinion on why he doesn't want to move. But before Casas got hurt, everybody was like, leave Devers alone. Why would you want to put Devers at first base? He stinks at third. He's going to stink at first. Find somebody else to do it. Now, all of a sudden.
Literally no one said that.
Yeah, that seems like a straw man to me.
No, it's not a
Literally
straw
no
man.
one said don't
Stop
put Devers
it.
at first.
Everybody
when
was
Cassis
like,
healthy. Nobody even brought up the idea of putting him at first.
And when we were talking about this whole thing for moving Devers off of third base and figuring out, should he go play first or should he DH?
That was really back in the spring where we were saying.
But even when Cassis was struggling, we were talking about whether should they move Roman Anthony there, should they move Marcelo Meyer there, Meyer, should they move Christian Campbell there. We were talking about all the people, and everybody was like, we'd rather move those other guys than Devers.
And listen, in a perfect world, Curtis, like obviously he would say, yes, I'll do anything for the team. I'm not just because I disagree with the way in which we're painting Rafael Devers, I don't agree with what he is doing. Like in a perfect world, yes, he says to Craig Breslow and Alex Cora, of course, I'll do whatever you guys want.
Right.
But we don't live in a perfect world. So this is the reality of the situation. So I'm just trying to give the opposite side of what might be going through his head.
Oh, no, I know what's going through his head, and it's all about him and not about the team. And that's not something that I would respect.
It's all about it's being pissed off that they dared to tell you weren't going to play third base. And now, from his mind, he's going, well, now you're coming back to me and you want me to play first base? Sorry.
Right.
You didn't want me to play third. I'm not playing first base. Like, get out of it.
And the other thing, Greg, is that thanks to Breslow yesterday, this all came to the surface, and this is why they've all been dancing around it, because they know how pissed he is about even the prospect of playing the position. But what stood out to me most, I listened back to Breslow last night. He said that he is still taking grounders at third base. And when I asked if he'd used a first baseman's mitt, he said no, he's just practicing with his third base, not at first. Why are they giving into that?
Well, it's not that giving into it.
He's not, if he is to play the field this year, it is not going to be third base. That's been clear in Bregman's one-game absence for the birth of his
but
child.
Here's the thing, Curtis, and Devers said this yesterday, and this leads me to believe, and this is the other window that you have to get into the world of how in all sports at every level, but especially at the professional level, where people in the front office and coaches and managers lie to you, because he made it seem like they lied to him about playing third base.
They told him to, and we'll get to the audio soon, but his argument is they told him to put the glove away. So there are texters who say this is all on Craig Breslow.
Yeah, you can't lie to a guy.
But they didn't lie to him. Things change.
Right.
Like the situation changes.
He said they were dishonest in what they were telling him.
No,
so is that not lying?
No, Wiggy, it's not lying, because at the time when Cassis was healthy, yeah, they had zero intention of putting him in the field. But come to find out, there's injuries and things change and situations change.
Let me ask you this question.
It's not lying if something changes.
Let me ask you this question honestly. Do you think they told him when they signed Bregman that he would have an opportunity at third base?
When they signed Bregman,
Yes.
no. They told him no. It's Bregman's job.
Stop.
That's why he was so pissed about
No,
it.
stop. He was pissed because they probably told him, like, listen, you're going to get a chance, Raffy, at third base. And they were dishonest with him there. They were dishonest with him about the DH and first base. So how is that not lying to the guy?
Right.
And
then Devers was dishonest when he said he wanted the team to get better.
And then when you no, he was honest about the team getting better, but you don't want it to get better.
If you want it to get better, he should go to first.
Stop it.
Let me just get John on this quick. Hey, John, what's up?
Hi, guys. I think it comes down to a pretty simple principle. If you want to be on a team in a team sport, what you do is may hurt your ego, may hurt you, but helps the team win. And it seems simple when you play a team sport. That's what you do.
Yep. I agree
agree with that.
Could not agree more.
Well, then don't lie to people. Well, how about that in sports? You know how many athletes I've dealt with it? Be honest, and I believe part of this is pettiness, because he was lied to about the third base position, whether Scheim wants to believe it or anybody else wants to believe it or not. Mm-hmm. When they brought in Bregman, they probably said, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity at third. They lied to him about that. Mm-hmm. That made him pissed, so he fought to get his opportunity, and then eventually threw his hands in and goes, you know what? All right, F it. I'll DH.
Scheim was lied to about who's going to be the next pontiff.
Yeah, yep. Just straight up lied to.
Outsourcing on that.
I know. Can't trust the Italians, I guess.
Dude wasn't even anywhere on your top 10.
I mean, hey, look, man. I did my research. I was grinding tape on those Pontiffs probables, and he was just nowhere to be found. He wasn't on the list. It was like back in the Baker Mayfield draft when everybody's like, "Yeah, he'll be like the 5th quarterback off the board," and he ended up going number 1 overall.